Hey, if you're a parent, you get it. The whole family stays in high gear during the school year, from sports to concerts to grades. High school demands high speed. At home, your internet also needs to meet the high demands of your family. Smart TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Sometimes all running at once. Maybe it's time to upgrade to a faster internet plan. Upgrade your high-speed internet with KM Telecom. Give us a call today and find out more. 634-2511. 634-2511.
We're back in our warm-up show here on KM Activities, your home for the Komets, and we have the girls matchup tonight in soccer. What I thought would not even happen today, honestly, but we are going to get it in. Kasson Mantorville hosting Cannon Falls. We have Coach Chris Soderberg with us. Coach Soderberg, you said it 2-3-1 coming in. Last time I saw you was against Lourdes. Then you had a game after that. Take me through the St. Peter matchup first of all.
Well, St. Peter, we've played them every year. They come to our scrimmage too, so we know them pretty well, and we're very evenly matched teams. It's always a one-goal game, one way or the other. Sometimes it goes to overtime like it did on Saturday. We took the lead on Saturday with a 1-0 goal in the second half. Chella pressured the defense and kind of created a breakaway for herself. And then they scored about 15-20 minutes later and evened it up, and then we just couldn't break the tie, even with a couple of overtimes.
Well, it was just good, I'm sure, to get back on the board for one after getting shut out by Lourdes, but also at the same time should be a little bit of a confidence booster coming back in here, even just with a tie. At least it's not an L.
Yeah, I know. Ties are kind of hard to swallow too, but especially when you have chances in overtime and just can't quite put it in the back of the net. But yeah, it's better in a loss, and we're at a position much better than we were last year at this time.
Well, tell me a little bit about Cannon Falls, and what do you know about the Bombers coming in here tonight?
Well, Cannon Falls is, I know they struggle with numbers, so they have, I believe, 23, 24 girls throughout their whole program. So they're going to have some athletes on their team that, every team will have athletes that we're going to have to be careful about. They did score on us last year, which was kudos to them. It was a little disappointing for us, but we anticipate that we'll be able to control the game. Now, if we can find the back of the net, that's another story.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to talk to you about, too, is I think your offense tonight really needs to get off to a good start. The last couple games that I saw you, it was always that other team kind of controlling things. Tonight, I think Kasson Mantorville needs to control.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we talked about that all week long, is we need to control the possession of the ball. We've had a hard time stringing passes together. We've really looked at our stats pretty carefully this year, and just getting a string of 3 passes just doesn't happen enough, and we're forcing things too much, and we're turning the ball over too much. So we've really worked on using our defense, spreading the teams out, and just kind of holding possession, waiting for opportunities.
All right, how about other keys, Coach?
Well, like I said, the possession is going to be a key, but finishing in the box, we just have to make sure that we hit the back of the net and get that confidence up right from the start. Like I said, a fast start's really important for us. We're right at the midway point of the season, and it's time to start cranking it up.
All right, sounds good. Good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
You bet. That's Chris Soderberg, then head coach for the Komets. We'll come back, start up with the starters, and get ready for the Kasson Mantorville Komets taking on the Cannon Falls Bombers here on KM Activities, your home for the Komets.
This Kasson Mantorville sports broadcast is brought to you in part by McKern Financial in Kasson and the Kasson Mantorville School District. We thank these proud sponsors for bringing you all the fall sports action right here on KM Activities YouTube channel. McKern Financial and the KM Schools cheer on the Komets and wish them a successful fall season.
Is your internet speed meeting your family needs? Times have really changed. Most families are running smart TVs, laptops, tablets, smartphones, often all at one time. With so many devices in constant use at home, maybe it's time to switch to high-speed internet from KM Telecom. Right now, you can sign up by September 30th and get your installation and first month absolutely free. Free installation and first month free. Call KM Telecom today for more information. 634-2511. 634-2511. Hey, if you're a parent, you get it. The whole family stays in high gear during the school year, from sports to concerts to grades. High school demands high speed. At home, your internet also needs to meet the high demands of your family. Smart TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Sometimes all running at once. Maybe it's time to upgrade to a faster internet plan. Upgrade your high-speed internet with KM Telecom. Give us a call today and find out more. 634-2511. 634-2511.
This Kasson Mantorville sports broadcast is brought to you in part by McKern Financial in Kasson and the Kasson Mantorville School District. We thank these proud sponsors for bringing you all the fall sports action right here on KM Activities YouTube channel. McKern Financial and the KM Schools cheer on the Komets and wish them a successful fall season.
Is your internet speed meeting your family needs? Times have really changed. Most families are running smart TVs, laptops, tablets, smartphones, often all at one time. With so many devices in constant use at home, maybe it's time to switch to high-speed internet from KM Telecom. Right now, you can sign up by September 30th and get your installation and first month absolutely free. Free installation and first month free. Call KM Telecom today for more information. 634-2511. 634-2511.
Let's see if that worked. Now they should be.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, can you? You couldn't hear me before?
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, we'll see. Where'd Amy go?
Yeah.
We'll make sure that things are running up smoothly now. Well, we do apologize. There was something happening with the board, and we didn't have sound. We did not know that. Well, I'm Joel McCall. Ryan Christensen is with me. 0-0 is the score then. And now we're back up and running. Amy let me know. So, well, we do apologize for that. For the first 20 minutes of the match, you didn't have anything. Ryan, that was what we call just a demo?
Oh, yeah. They missed a good 25 minutes of me rambling, and that's a Sports Center, not top 10 right there.
We're good. All right. So, we do apologize for that. Yeah, I think something on the board got turned off, and I guess I just did not notice it. So, well, 0-0 is the score. 16.5 remaining then in the first half. As Kasson Mantorville with Gwendole trying to move off. Oh, got to get that pass up forward. Had to look there. Yeah, definitely. I'm with you.
She tried to get it to her left foot there, make a good pass, and just a good defensive play.
Yeah, I think it's Gossard that she was trying to feed it off to. Or Gossard, I think, is just coming in.
And for the Komets, number 7, Taylor Ludvigson.
Yeah, Ludvigson.
12, Kayla Head. And number 14, Elena.
Yeah, Head and Gossard both coming in. Now a huge shot by Kasson Mantorville, but it will go wide and out of bounds. So, what we were talking about that nobody else apparently heard was the fact that Cannon Falls just has limited numbers. And then we saw earlier, if you were following the broadcast, Learman got hurt. That's their starting goalie. And now Cannon Falls got a backup goalie in. And so Kasson Mantorville's been able to take charge. And really the possession, they've held possession almost this entire first half.
Probably 60-70% possession at least, yes.
And not only that, but their passing has been much better tonight, Ryan.
Oh, yeah. You talked about that at the beginning of the broadcast, having those 3-4 passes Soderberg was looking for and planning ahead. If we don't plan ahead and know where we're going before we have the ball, it's hard to keep moving forward.
Oh, look at the cross by Wiegand. Wiegand goes into the corner, trying to feed it back to the middle. Ooh. And punched out of there. Schultz did not get an opportunity to shoot that ball. Wiegand, that's a smart play by Cannon Falls just to get that out and make it be a throw-in.
Control that pressure. Calm everyone down.
And the one thing we talked about, too, was Cannon Falls said their defense is their strong suit. We're noticing that, though. Their defense is not giving up. Maybe their offense isn't as aggressive, but, boy, their defense sits in.
They really shrink into that third and second six, and it is hard to put the ball through there on a clean shot. You're going to have to put it in a corner if you want a good opportunity on this goalie.
Hager in the corner as well as Wiegand. Ball out of bounds, though. Defensive kick coming then for Cannon Falls. 14 minutes remaining first half. 0-0 the score here at KM Telecom Stadium. And thank you to KM Telecom for being our major sponsor, as well as a couple other sponsors, McKern Financial and the KM Schools. Appreciate you coming along for the ride, as well as you listening now that you can here on KM Activities. Oh, a header!
Oh, so close.
Gossard got a head on it. But just could not put it back in. Flickinger has come all the way up, too, from her defensive spot to keep playing and keep pressure on the Bombers. This is kicked out. Woodrum and Folk standing there, but nobody was able to play it afterwards. And I take that back. That's Kayla Head on this near side now. I forgot Woodrum is over on the other side who just picked up the foul, the 8th grader.
And she was starting as a 7th grader last year. And, in 10 years of coaching in the program with Coach Soderberg, that was the first time I had seen a 7th grader starting. It was amazing to see. Great athlete, ready to go. Her sister was a senior last year. Good transition.
That's something that I would never have saw. Like in Iowa, that's not allowed. I mean, you just simply can't. The only time an 8th grader can play varsity level is baseball, and it's only their 8th grade summer because they're going to be a freshman. So when they came up here, I did not even know that was possible. So we get on the run. Let's see who the flag is out on. Corner kick coming for, and it should be Flickinger to come over. Flickinger, her last one kind of went sideways on her and off the side of the net.
Yeah, just didn't get it back into play. Didn't use that window to her advantage.
Yeah, we'll see if she can able to kind of bend it back towards. And remember the last one that came over here, though, Gossard got a head on it. not quite high enough, and the same thing happens. Not what the Komets were looking for there.
Those are those opportunities that Soderbergh talked about before the game, wanting to make sure they bury those because those are goals they need to have to win games.
Yeah, you got to be successful on those corner kicks. That's what happened really to Kasson Mantorville their first game out, too, against Park High. Park High had 2 in a row of the corner kicks and Kasson Mantorville did a great job. Their defense stopped everything, and no goal was allowed. And then that third one came in, and the next thing you know, one blasted through the net. And even Coach Soderbergh and I talked after the game. I said, man, those 3 really hurt you. And he goes, we talked on the sideline. If we give up a third, we knew it was going to be a goal, and it was.
Yep. That's a lot of pressure upon your goalie to make those saves and your defenders, and a lot of kids coming in fast on those corner kicks.
Ludvigsen, pass off to Wiegand. Wiegand, with a kick. Good idea, though. I turned and fired.
Yeah. Can't shoot. You can't score if you don't shoot.
When she saw the net, I actually think if that could have bent a little back towards the left, she had a great chance of hitting the top and maybe getting one snuck through. Instead, defensive kick for Cannon Falls. Ball bouncing around and batted out. That's by Mackey then. They've had a couple of substitutions. Rolf is in for the first time, number 4.
Trying to keep those players fresh.
Right. Yeah, you got to. I mean, I know Amy, the first night that I called the soccer match, she was with me and she said, you wouldn't believe what a fitness tracker would tell you as how much you run in a soccer match. And I said, actually, I probably would believe it because, I mean, you think about the yardage, just going back and forth, but then if you're running side to side, it's insane.
Your middle mids are really going up and down the field, helping your defense, helping your forwards, so they're really moving.
And Kasson Mantorville's on the move. Gossard with a nice touch pass.
There we go. Good shot.
Got her, too. What a kick. Well, that was Ellie Hager.
It's out from the 15-yard line, so well
wow.
inside the box.
What a boot. Ellie Hager driving that thing. As you said, that was 15, 20 yards out.
Yeah, you're looking at a goalie that came up pretty aggressive. She was outside her first 6, and her first step was forward, and she just couldn't get those arms extended and use that back foot for momentum to push up and pop the ball over, and couldn't get her hand on it. And
honestly, if we were to go back, if we had any kind of replay, there's not a lot of goalies that would be able to make that play anyway. That was perfectly placed. So Hager puts the Komets on the board, 1-0.
Takes a little pressure off the team, and they want to keep putting goals in, but it feels good to kind of get that first one on the scoreboard.
Well, in Kasson Mantorville, the last couple of years against Cannon Falls, aside from last year, had been 12-0. Yeah. 2 years. I only went back 4 years total, but it was 12-0, 12-0. Then last year was 3-1. And Cannon Falls was able to put something on the board last year, but for the most part, Kasson Mantorville has really dominated this series. 12-0, 15, 16, and 17. So
that tells you how far along in the last few years Cannon Falls' program has come. They've really improved to see those change in scores. We saw that in Dover Yoda years ago before they went to state. Kasson played them pretty well, and then all of a sudden, young players came along, played well, and they went to state.
Really? Yeah, well, and you would notice that too. I mean, you as a former coach would see that program being built. That's what I liked about Lake City, is that they talked about that too. We're really trying to establish something, and that has to start middle school too. Middle school and that junior high, and keeping those kids out, because you don't want to see a bunch of 7th and 8th graders playing varsity. That just doesn't help them.
No, that's a little young for them, and it can be detrimental when you're losing games and not sure what's going on because you're not scoring.
Yeah, Rolf had the pass for Cannon Falls, but she went backwards on it, and coming up to play it is Wiegand. Wiegand into the corner. Can she put one towards? She cannot. Good defense there by Kay Smith, too. That's a senior for Cannon Falls, staying right there with her and not allowing her to at least turn those hips and hit one towards the net.
Yeah, that senior leadership is pretty important at this point in the stage in the game, especially that they just gave up a goal. They want to shore up that defense, and that's the senior that's going to do it.
One girl we haven't really talked about yet is Aislinn Tim. Tim is here's a breakout then. This is Watson on the run. And now Johnson with a little tap out. Cannon Falls had reversed it. That was not Tim. I was expecting to start calling her name, but it was not. Tim had the most goals for Cannon Falls. I believe I said 5 earlier. Yeah, 5 for her, Park with 1. So
And that has come before the previous 3 games because you had mentioned that the last 3 games they've given up 19 goals and scored none. So that was some early scoring at the beginning of the year, and got to get those goals and to get the momentum and the feel back for the team.
well, that's what I would think too. Is it would hurt just the confidence of your overall team to see those scores come in for 3 straight games. And I mean, they scored 10 against Tri-City Union, or United. But I mean, before that, or the games after that, yeah, just 8-0 to Byron, Caledonia 4-0, and Red Wings 7-0. And those scores just hurt you. And that's where I was asking Coach Soderberg a little bit about the mentality of his team too, because you lose to Lourdes. I mean, not a loss, but it was a tie against St. Peter when you led 1-0. So you kind of just wonder where the psyche is of the Komets too.
And you think of last year. Last year they started off with I think maybe 1 win the first 7 or 8 games, and that could be tough. And they came on strong. And they played Lourdes in the playoffs and worked really hard, lost 4-1, but you got to get the momentum early and keep it going.
Flickinger, what a nice pass to Wiegand. Now can she find one towards the net? She does. And scooped up by Cannon Falls. Bazero there for the stop.
We have about 6:47 left in the first half here.
1-0 then. Komets leading. Thank you for that too. I appreciate that. I kind of lose track of the timing. I'm just focusing on everything that's going on the field. So
Moves pretty fast out here.
it does. That is for sure. That's one thing about soccer is just the movement. The kids are always moving, and time is always moving. You don't have a stoppage until something like an injury that we saw earlier with Learman happens. Here's another substitution.
Big shout out to all the parents tonight that have helped out with being ball support, ball girls out there, ball guys. Typically we have the JV teams doing it, and the JV wasn't here tonight, so we can see some parents out there helping make sure the balls are on the outside of the field, get put back in quickly. That's really nice of them to help out tonight.
Corner kick by the Komets, stays in front, inside the box. Oh, and that's a good stop by Bazero to keep that one from hitting the net, because that was a good opportunity for the Kasson Komets.
She's got more comfortable in net as the half has gone on. You can see she's making saves, controlling the ball on the first touch.
Detterman was the one that just subbed in for Kasson. This is Hager up ahead to Detterman. Detterman, yeah, you were looking through the corner too, weren't you, to Wiegand?
Yep. Get it to the outside or get a through pass in there, and she can sneak in around that defender.
Hager tried that almost the exact same spot, about 17 yards out, trying to go for it. Was stopped though. We were mentioning, or I did, with Tim, who for Cannon Falls, we hadn't called her name for a while. She was actually out too. She just subbed back in. She was a sub for the Bombers. Over on that far side, still being batted around. Kasson Detterman has it.
She got space in the middle.
She does. Only 2 there. Kick, side, and scooped. Detterman kind of lost her footing too, trying to put one towards the net.
Trying to make something out of nothing there, get the momentum again.
So 4:40 left in the first half. 1-0 the score. And we got
the Komets.
Yeah, that one's on Woodrum. Well, here comes a kick for Cannon Falls. Brought up by Watson.
See, even Cannon Falls has 5 defenders back, so even when they're looking to score offensively, having that extra defender back must make it a little more challenging because you have less to pass to and doesn't spread the field out as much.
Yeah, I guess I didn't notice. I mean, Kasson had literally everybody except maybe 2 coming up, and we've seen Geary as well as Flickinger come all the way up to play. This is out of bounds off of the Komets again, and be another throw in over on that far side for Cannon Falls. I got to make sure I turn that light off so I don't get that reflection off the window. I can't read the numbers over there. 3.5 to play, first half. 1-0. We got some more substitutions as well.
You wonder if they run those 5 defenders because of how the goals have been so lopsided lately. They want to kind of seal that, and adding another defender kind of slows it down a little. We're seeing it today with only 1 goal against us.
Right, instead of giving up a breakaway or 2 with maybe only 2 girls back. Yeah, that's true. That's why I like having a coach. I like having that coach perspective as a color commentator. It makes it a lot of difference because other times, like, again, in high school, I did not have soccer. I mean, this was not even something offered. So, a whiff by Flickinger coming up the play. She was able to get it out of there to Hager. right in front of Mackey. Still being played in the middle. Casimir, that was a good pass.
Get to the outside.
Wiegand. Oh, Wiegand slipped too. Boy, this turf is wet. You can just tell. Even in cleats, there's Falk trying to drive one over on the far end.
And this is her first year on varsity, so even though she's had some practice on the turf, it's a different field than grass. It takes a little while to get used to the speed, feel of it.
And we've just had a ton of rain too. I can't imagine that. And even in throw-ins, I would think it'd be pretty tough to just even pick up the ball and get some grip off of it. Casimirville shooting one towards the middle. Oh, almost.
Goalie sure watched that with ease.
Yes, she did.
As a former goalie, when you're watching like that, you're kind of hoping that, yep, I got my angle, and that's not going in. Because you look pretty silly if you don't move and it goes in.
I think that was good. I'm not sure who that was that actually put one towards there.
Good placement, though, on the outside there.
It was, yes. And so was I really like the pass from the middle to Wiegand over here, too. Woodrum will go back to play it. I think it was Gossard that was able to actually kick it out at the 2-minute warning then. Here in the first half. Casimirville leading 1-0. Teams come in with their records. Cannon Falls 2-4. 0-1 in the conference. Casimirville 2-3-1. They had that one tie this past weekend. And they're 1-0 in the conference. After beating Lake City, that's the only team that they had played so far in the conference. So this is their second matchup. Byron leads it with 2-0 as well as Leward. Byron hosting Pine Island. Ooh, and a stop there for Lizzie Johnson. We have not said her name much tonight. That's her real first action to see a ball it. Casimirville trying to play a little D and get it out of there. Ooh, off the chin there. Gossard.
See something that you don't want to give up those goals in the last 2 minutes. That can be really demoralizing when you go to sit down with the coach, and that's what you're going to start talking about right away. So this is a good time to make sure there's no goals. Get the balls to the outside as best you can.
And there was an outside. Detterman out of bounds, maybe? Yes. Yeah, Pine Island at Byron and Leward is at Lake City tonight. Those are the two other matchups in the conference. And other games that are happening for Casimirville, well, the volleyball team doesn't have to worry about a wet gym.
Yeah.
They're at Pine Island tonight. Which I found out earlier, Pine Island, their varsity coach just up and quit.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not sure what, I'm not going to speculate at all on what's going on there, but that will make things real tough for their program. That's unfortunate.
That's not thinking about the kids in that situation. Might be a family thing, but, you know, there's kids you're working for, and they're here to work for you, too.
Yeah. And like you said, who knows what it could be. It could be 1,000 different things. But, yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, we're down to the 10-second clock. Then 1-0 is how we're going to go into the first half at the intermission. That'll about kill the eardrums. Says Ryan, you hadn't had that go off yet. And that is a 1-0 score then here on KM Activities as Kasson Mantorville gets that one goal. And that was by Hager. Hager with a great chance and drive on that goal, too, as Casimirville then leads here in this Hiawatha matchup, in the Hiawatha Conference, as we'll come back to KM Telecom Stadium here in about, 2 minutes or so, as we want to thank our fine sponsors.
Hey, if you're a parent, you get it. The whole family stays in high gear during the school year. From sports to concerts to grades. High school demands high speed. At home, your internet also needs to meet the high demands of your family. Smart TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Sometimes all running at once. Maybe it's time to upgrade to a faster internet plan. Upgrade your high-speed internet with KM Telecom. Give us a call today and find out more. 634-2511. 634-2511.
This Kasson Mantorville sports broadcast is brought to you in part by McKern Financial in Kasson and the Kasson Mantorville School District. We thank these proud sponsors for bringing you all the fall sports action right here on KM Activities YouTube channel. McKern Financial and the KM schools cheer on the Komets and wish them a successful fall season.
Is your internet speed meeting your family needs? Times have really changed. Most families are running smart TVs, laptops, tablets, smartphones, often all at one time. With so many devices in constant use at home, maybe it's time to switch to high-speed internet from KM Telecom. Right now, you can sign up by September 30th and get your installation and first month absolutely free. Free installation and first month free. Call KM Telecom today for more information. 634-2511. 634-2511.
This Kasson Mantorville sports broadcast is brought to you in part by McKern Financial in Kasson and the Kasson Mantorville School District. We thank these proud sponsors for bringing you all the fall sports action right here on KM Activities YouTube channel. McKern Financial and the KM Schools cheer on the Komets and wish them a successful fall season.
Is your internet speed meeting your family needs? Times have really changed. Most families are running smart TVs, laptops, tablets, smartphones, often all at one time. With so many devices in constant use at home, maybe it's time to switch to high-speed internet from KM Telecom. Right now, you can sign up by September 30th and get your installation and first month absolutely free. Free installation and first month free. Call KM Telecom today for more information. 634-2511. 634-2511.
One nothing the score then here on KM Activities, as it was Ellie Hager that got on the board for Kasson Mantorville. That was about 15 minutes left in the first half. And I'm Joel McCall. Alongside me is Ryan Christensen. As for Kasson Mantorville then with Hager, I did not have a goal for her so far this season, so that was her first.
It's nice to see her coming about this year, scoring goals. She's been playing for Coach Litterberg since she was in 8th grade, so she's got a lot of practice for him.
And that was just a great shot, too. If we go back to that real quickly and talk a little bit about Kasson Mantorville overall, their offense, this is much more aggressive. This is much more of the Komet play that I would like to see moving forward on the season. As I mentioned to you, I had covered a couple of games where they just seemed timid. Tonight, it's kind of like, well, we knew the opponent. They're shorthanded. We can come out here. We can dominate ball control.
Yeah, they got to be more aggressive. They're making those passes, and we talked earlier about third, fourth touch, having a plan before you even receive that ball. Where are you going to go next? Is the outside going to be open? Is there a through ball? Planning a give and go. It's getting used to each other. And even though the season's a month and a half in, there's still some players that are getting used to how each other move. And once they start feeling that towards October, you'll see some through balls, some give and goes, and those opportunities will increase for better shots. And right now, Cannon Falls is just really plugging the hole. They have 8 of their 10 girls down in the box, and it's hard to go in the middle. You got to start bringing the outside. It'll spread it out. And then once they come to the outside with you, get some of those crosses to actually go in that second and third six. Get a little hit on those, and hopefully a header can go in.
Well, that's what I was wondering about too. Is I was going to ask you a little bit about how do you attack, because we've seen Cannon Falls and their offense just can't seem to get anything going. They've had one corner kick, and really Lizzie Johnson didn't even have to play that one. She had to play a different ball that ended up rolling to her. So, I mean, Cannon Falls, they're going to sit back. They know they want it to be a low-scoring game. They've actually got that part done tonight for the first half. It's 1-0. So, I mean, in that retrospect, Cannon Falls should be a little proud of their effort.
Oh, yeah. If giving up 19 goals in the last 3 games and you're only down 1-0 after the first half, defensively they've been playing pretty solid. The goalie injury probably hurt a little bit. The starting goalie was a little bit taller, and she might have made a little punch save there on that nice shot from Hager. But at the end, if you can't get the ball down the other end, 1-0, and you're not scoring the last 3 games, the second half could be kind of tough for them because they're going to have to find momentum. They're going to have to get the ball up and play. And then they're going to have to bring that 5th defender up to the middle of the field, push them up to the 40, the 30. And if they give up an odd player rush, there's a breakaway other way. Might give up a couple more goals.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, and we saw once they had the ball past the 50 and they were going into an offensive attack, they still had 5-6 girls waiting back, and not bringing up, like, say, Kasson Mantorville. They were bringing up Geary to play a little bit more offensively. So was Flickinger.
Yeah, you're doing that, and we've seen that in the past couple of years back in the playoffs. Plainview, Elgin, Millville came out of nowhere, beat Dover in the playoffs. They were playing a tight defense. They weren't trying to score goals. They were trying to prevent goals. And they ended up beating Dover over, who had gone to state the year before, and then they came here. And we were kind of a surprise that year, too. We were a 6-7 seed and came along and played at home, surprise home game. And it was 0-0 the first 40 minutes half, second half, 20 minutes in. Chella Gonzalez finally scores a goal, but that defense was so tight. They were waiting for that 0-0 game, get into overtime, and hope for a really bad garbage goal or hope for just something surprise because that goalie hasn't seen anything. And I think that's what they're trying to go here with Cannon Falls State, try the same concept.
Yeah, I could see that because, again, I mean, you talk about they've had one big game where they kind of broke out, but other than that, they have not because they had that 10 goals against Tri-City United. But other than that, they lost to Faribault 5-1, beat Fridley 3-2, and then, as you alluded to, the loss to Byron, Caledonia, and then Red Wing. Kasson Mantorville, if you hadn't been following so much, they lost to Park High 3-0, beat Plainview, that was 2-1, lost to Dover Yoda 4-0, came back, beat Lake City 8-0, then went over to Rochester, lost to Leward last week 5-0, and then tied St. Peter. You know, I look back at just the overall season so far. I would say the most impressive win wouldn't be that Lake City game. I think it's the Plainview game because they were actually down in that game 1-0 and came back and won 2-1.
Yeah. And you see those scores and you hear those and you see the lopsided one way and you see a 4-5 loss the other way, and you hope as the season goes on the next couple of weeks you keep winning those games you're supposed to. But those tight games, even if you're not expected to win, you're playing some great competition. Coach Schulberg always brings in great competition because you want to get ready for the playoffs. You'd hope to see those 4-0s turn into 2-1s or 3-1s or 3-2s because then you're seeing progress. If you continue to see 4-0, 5-0, you're maintaining, but you're not improving.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And then let's see, the other thing to go through, just real quickly, I didn't really mention the Hiawatha Valley Conference overall. I don't even know if we had sound at the time that I mentioned the other matches. Pine Island is at Byron. Lake City is hosting Leward. And then Kasson Mantorville, their volleyball team's at Pine Island. But the Hiawatha Valley Conference, right now it's Byron and Leward, both at 2-0. Kasson Mantorville sitting at 1-1, and then Stewartville's also 1-1, and then you got Pine Island, Cannon Falls, and Lake City all at that over. So you got that top 4 to 5 is kind of where, and Kasson Mantorville really wants to hang in that, and that's where you're going to have to take care of teams like Lake City, like Cannon Falls. They got Pine Island, I believe, next week. It's going to be that matchup with Byron and Stewartville that's going to really tell the tale of the Comet season.
Yeah. And then when they go into look into playoffs, you really want to have those tight games with those teams. You want to be ready to go, and when they say who'd you play and who'd you win, who'd you lose to, you want to be able to get that seed that helps you at least 1 or 2 home games.
Right.
So you're ready for Byron or Leward in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. Because, again, we'll be talking a lot about section coming up. I mean, you got all that happening soon. As coming on this near side is Geary. Emma, a little head fake as Kasson Mantorville gets going once again with Cannon Falls. That's a good no call right there. And Evans to the corner.
Good placement.
It was. And can she save it? She can. Good job by Evans. Kicks it back to the sideline. Then nobody with her. As the starters then, we have Macklin Smith, Emma Geary, Ellie Hager, Olivia Mathias, Chella Gonzalez, Addie Evans, Hallie Detterman, Gwen Dole, Lauren Flickinger, and then Charlotte Woodrum. That is the starters. Not to say that that's everybody out there. I'm pretty sure it is, though. And then Tim, Davison, Mackey, Peer, Park, Watson, Smith, Park, and then Carpenter as the starters for Cannon Falls. We have a shot on goal for Kasson Mantorville. We've played 1 minute and 15 seconds. So, again, they come out aggressive at least.
Yeah, you got Dole taking a shot from almost the 25-30. You'd like to see her maybe make one more touch. It looked like she might have had a little bit of space. She wanted to take a hard shot, so she looked like she shot a little early. But, again, when you put it right at the goalie there, if no one's crashing the net, there's no rebounds.
And driving to the corner, but that one a little too hard. Now we're going to see a lot more of Dole and Geary and Evans since they were on the flip side last time. Hager's going to be on that far end. So is Gonzalez. She's the one that stopped that for a moment. Now that,
Here we go.
Yep, Detterman handling it. Oh, Dole tried another shot from 20. Got it back, though.
There's that extra touch.
And the kick goes wide, though. I'm with you, though. She got a little closer that time, a little bit better.
Yeah.
Positioning.
And you saw earlier, just 2 out times already, we put the ball to the outside. We talked about that in the intermission. Getting the ball to the outside, spread those defenders out. They're probably tired going back and forth in their box. Spread that field out.
I get tired of watching them. I just get tired of watching. Like, you get exhausted just watching the soccer players run so much.
Used to take good naps on the bus on the way home, so I know how that felt.
Macklin Smith had the kick that went out of bounds, so throw in for Cannon Falls, far side. Looking for Park. Park is on the run then on that far end. We'll see who comes with her, though. Tripped up, still brought in, deeper into position. Trying to get it off to Pier, but could not.
You can see now that Cannon Falls does have just 4 defenders now. They've kind of changed their formation a little bit. They brought that 5th defender up to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, playing in a little bit farther. That should be Lily Park, number 22. She's the other defender that's now playing up a little farther. So, yeah, before, everybody stayed around the 50. I think we have a foul and maybe a set play happening for Cannon Falls. Addie Evans trying to run in there to make sure nobody sneaks attack on
Cover that
Johnson.
far side
Yep,
post.
that's right. Lizzie's been quiet so far. 62 saves on the year, 63 now. She did have one earlier tonight. She has led the Hiawatha, actually, in saves.
Nice, and this is her chance to be really vocal. Let the players know where she needs them to be. Make that save if she needs to.
Drive one high.
There you go.
Oh, she fell down, though. It's an empty netter. Great job by Evans to come out and play her.
Good defensive support there.
Yes, it was, because Lizzie must have just lost her foot. Well, there was kind of a collision, too. Flickinger fighting it off. That's with Park. Now cleared up. Dole. Neither one of them were playing it. Yeah, Dole needs to go to the corner.
There you go.
Evans. Oh, it just snuck off the right foot of Addie Evans and out of bounds.
You really see that play forming, and then you have Evans down there. Maybe a little more through the middle, then get it to the far side there.
The throw-in will come to Dole, even though it's Cannon Falls throw-in. Dole shifting. Gives it off to Evans. Now right back to Dole and to Evans. Into the corner. This is that outside that Ryan's been talking about. Oh, now loft on that. And Evans now just kicked out of bounds. That did not go to the in line, though. This is the sideline, so just a throw in for Kasson Mantorville. Geary coming in to do that. Go ahead.
Those give and goes, sorry about that. Those are give and goes that really are important for the timing for those players on the field between Dole and Evans. They really want to get that down as the season goes on, and it looked pretty good there.
And now the floating kick by Dole towards the net, but nobody there to head it for Kasson Mantorville. Goes out of bounds and be another defensive kick coming for the Bombers. Cannon Falls trails 1-0, 35 minutes remaining, so we've played 5 here in the second half.
And they kept their backup goalie in, so that injury to their starter must have been big enough where it's kept her out for probably the rest of the game.
Yeah, unfortunately for Lehrman, who has essentially played almost every minute. They had, like I said, they did have a second goalie in a couple of stats, but nothing major. I mean, we're talking garbage time by then.
And she's come in and held her own pretty well. She made a couple good saves, pushing the ball to the outside.
Kasson Mantorville trying to get it to the outside, set something up. Cannon Falls will go out of bounds yet again. on the sideline. Coming up limping a little bit is Davison. Dole turning into the box. Oh, that ball bounced. Otherwise, probably would have been another shot for Matthias this time. As Hager's on the far end. Now a kick way up ahead. Woodrum to play. Drives it back up. Oh, Dole had that one go off her side. Evans, though, sneaking in. Oh,
She's got speed.
She is such a quick little thing. You could tell her movement is really good, too. That's the thing. She's almost deceptively quick, especially her lateral movement.
And she's got some good power on her corners or her crosses. So it'd be nice to see her get that left foot going here in the second half.
Yeah, because I thought when she went to the corner, she'd have a good chance to drive one. And instead, I don't know if she kind of mishit it or what. Far end.
We'll have a throw in here.
Smith, yeah. Cannon Falls tried to go to that outside, then bring somebody back in. I could understand what they were doing. Macklin Smith on the defense, though.
Their defense hasn't really been tested, so hopefully they're communicating, they keep moving, they're talking, and they're not ready to lose that ball through. We've seen one or two balls that have gone through them kind of flat-footed. They get in a flat line, and when that happens, that's when you see those forwards go right through.
Watson with the throw into Tim for Cannon Falls right around the 40. And then batted up by Hager. Saved by Hager, too. Dole comes in. Got a runner on the far end. Can't get it to her. And still will be a throw in for Kasson Mantorville. They're going to go all the way to the corner. This is smart, heady play. Over on that far side. Driving one to the middle. Evans will come back to play right around the 10. Ooh, skied up to the right. Yes, she was. Right top corner. Good placement. Just a hair high for Addie Evans.
Wonder if she had sunk in just a little bit more with that ball on that far sideline down by the flag. It would have been nice to have her maybe 5 more yards into the middle. She might have had a quicker chance to make that shot.
That was a good heads-up throw-in, though, too, for Kasson. That was all set up on that nice throw-in. This time the give and go a little bit too far and out of bounds.
Yeah, you can catch a team off if they're off guard on those transitions. You can really spread the field out, move quickly, and you can see yourself down the field in a hurry.
Especially on that far side. You know, you got Gonzalez there who's got good speed. Hager's over there. We've already seen her with a couple of chances plus the goal. As Tim has the touch now for Cannon Falls. Trying to go towards the middle, but it's Hager. Hager floats and Dole.
She's looking far side to 22 there as her forward, trying to get the ball over the defender. Just not enough height there.
Oh, for Tim? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
A little more height. She could have got over the defender and might have had a chance.
Oh, and then Kasson Mantorville just gave it back. That's Detterman and Geary just not talking. Not sure who that was even out on. One of them, though. Rolfe with the throw in for Cannon Falls. Tipped out by Park. Trying to go to their offensive threat in their zone. Good pass by Flickinger. Finding Detterman now into the corner. Evans.
Inside.
Evans on the run.
Corner.
Yep, and it will be out of bounds by Kay Smith. We've talked about her a few times tonight, too. A senior leadership provided for Cannon Falls on the defensive end. 24's done a good job in white.
Mm-hmm. Yep. One thing you'd like to maybe see with that outside play on Evans, maybe the defender for Kasson Mantorville comes down and sinks down the 20 there, gives her an option so she doesn't have to make that cross to her left, make a pass to the defender, and we can switch fields quickly, or she stops and uses that right foot to make a cross.
Yeah, as you said, it's all about options. Yep. Header goes high for Kasson Mantorville.
Nice to see a little head on the ball there. We had talked to Coach Silberg earlier in the day, and that's something they want to work on, being aggressive on corner kicks. Those are the kind of goals that really change the momentum of a game, and this is a great time to practice those.
And how often in a practice are you really getting yourself a chance to practice like headers? Like how often are you doing that?
Yeah, I mean, with varsity, you're going to see a little more because they know those are those areas that they really want to improve on. You're looking at junior high, C squad. You're not looking at those. That's more fundamental based. But once you get to that varsity level, even a little bit of JV, you're watching these games and you're saying those are the 2 areas we need to improve on most. So we're going to work both on offensively, trying to score with headers. But we're also going to defensively work on those corners because we've given up some goals there.
Okay. Yeah. So that's again, that's stuff that I don't know, and I don't think even the average viewer would really know about what's going on as far as practice and how often you get those chances.
And talking to Coach Collins, she had talked about before
nice
the
pass
game.
by Detterman.
They've been doing quite a bit of it. They're just not seeing it translate just yet.
Gonzalez on the far side. Gave it back to her. How could she go to the mid? Oh, what a fake out.
There we go.
Kick with the left.
Oh,
And the side of the net.
good move, though. She had some speed on the outside, made a good touch. Defender kept going, and she came back to the middle and used that left foot to try to score a goal.
That was really, really executed well by Gonzalez. That was excellent ball movement with her.
She has been a goal scorer for years.
Yeah, her and she's got 3, and Narveson with 3. We haven't called Narveson hardly at all tonight. Honestly, I don't even remember her coming into the match.
She started as a C squad last year, and mid-season she skipped JV and moved to varsity for Coach Soderberg because of her scoring prowess, and they were really needing goals. And he saw her and said, "Let's bring her up," and she worked well for him, and she's working well this year as well.
Yeah, I just don't know if we've seen her. I can't recall seeing her in the first half as Dole tries to attack. Didn't have Geary with her, so Dole just kind of taking it on by herself. Right in the box still. Kasson has a shot. Oh, to the right for Hager, looking for her second of the evening, and that one just goes wide. 28 minutes left. 28 minutes left in the first half, or second half, pardon me. 1-0 is the score. Kasson leading Cannon Falls here at KM Telecom Stadium. And thank you to KM Telecom for being our major sponsors you see on the screen. We also have McKern Financial and the KM Schools providing us sponsorship for high school soccer here on KM Activities. If you missed it, this was about a week ago. Gwen Dole gave us a nice interview. Thought it was kind of fun to have her and Jackson Kennedy both on in the same week. Kind of the same story, both coming back from knee injuries and able to get back on their respective playing field, although it is the same field. You know, they both get to play on this turf. And so this week was Peyton Wilkie, if you can go back and see that. He was one of our interviews, and then Tiana Webke was our other one, cross country, and they were supposed to run today. Unfortunately, couldn't get that in over at Mayo, but I'm sure there'll be a backup plan to get that. I think it's the 17th, if I remember correctly, the date that they'll do that. Coach Pittman mentioned to me that that Mayo one has been run for 50 years now. That was
That's a good tradition.
This will be the 50th anniversary of the Mayo cross country meet over in Rochester. So if you ever get a chance, go to a cross country meet. It's one of the most positive experiences you'll ever have in high school athletics.
And you mentioned Gwen Dole earlier, and last year, first game of the season against Park on the road, tore ACL, and it was just a devastating blow for her and the team. And it's nice to see she's worked her way back, and she's on the field playing well for the team as a senior.
Yeah, she is. Oh, Evans.
Good, right at the goalie there.
Yeah, it was.
Good hard shot, though. It's nice to see we're pulling the trigger a little bit more. We've seen a lot more shots on net. Now we just got to keep finding those corners.
Evans looking for her. She's had the most assists so far this season, Addie Evans. 3 or 4, if I remember correctly, the notes that I had. I believe 4. 4 for her. Dole has a couple of them. And so does Geary. So you're seeing some of those, as you said, defensive players like Geary coming all the way up and helping the Kasson Comet offense. She did it right there. Dole up ahead, not being played though. This is just kicked right out of bounds off of Buck. Allie Buck. Going to be a throw-in for Kasson.
Seems like every 8-10 years you get that one true goal scorer. You had Laurel Raymer years ago, who was one of the highest scoring players in soccer in Kasson history, and we don't have that right now, but as long as everyone's communicating on the field and playing well together, you're going to see a lot of helpers like that because players are passing the ball.
Well, the communication, so important.
Got to push her back a little bit. She's trying to sneak up there.
No, who would ever do that? That was flicking her, then they give back to Geary then. Geary off to Evans. Good pass to Dole. We've seen a lot more crisp passing tonight for Kasson. This goes to Evans in the corner again. Now will she have some options? She holds.
Goes to that right foot there.
Off to Gonzalez.
Oh,
left-footed. Yep, outside.
A lot of white jerseys in the way in that box, and they're really sinking again. We're pushing the ball to the outside, but they're really sinking in the box. And when you're trying to shoot through 2 white jerseys and a goalie, the options are limited.
Well, and right there, that was a good chance for Gonzalez to get that overview of what was happening in the middle. Now, maybe the next time, if she gets that chance again, she can kind of figure out where to go.
Maybe take it to the right next time. The left was pretty clogged over there.
Ooh, and a touch by Detterman. That is stolen away for Cannon Falls. They're still trying to get Tim going at all. She does get a good pass here. And off to Mackey.
You see there,
Mackey
we
and
got
Tim.
three black jerseys and 2 white, so the numbers are there for us.
True. They just have not, I mean, Cannon Falls just has not been aggressive on their offense.
It's hard to sneak the cheese past the rat.
Yeah, that is for sure. And actually, we just talked about Narveson. She is in now. She was over on that far side. Throw in for Kasson Mantorville on that far side.
And she will run through a brick wall for you. She does not stop until she's almost in the net. So you know if you get the ball into her, she will go to goal and try to shoot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's the one that just subbed in. And you're right. That's one thing that I really respected about her game that I have seen. When she's on this nearer side, it's kind of easier to see how bad she battles. Oh, my goodness. She is a scrappy player. And I love scrappy players. They're the most fun to watch because you could just see them. They use their hands. They get those elbows in there.
Physical.
Yep.
The ref's allowing it. You want players like that on the field. It changes the momentum of the game.
High drive. Ooh, up and out then on that far end for Kasson Mantorville. Had a corner kick. Just couldn't quite do anything with it off of Evans. 23 minutes remaining. 1-0 is the score.
If you're the coaches over in Kasson Mantorville, you're probably hoping for one more at this point just to feel confident. I mean, your defense hasn't been tested, but one goal on the other side can really change the game, and you don't want to leave with a 1-1 tie.
No, that's for sure. Especially in a conference game. This is a key one for Kasson Mantorville. They would, I mean, if you're putting Vegas odds on it, the Komets would be the favorite here tonight. And you cannot be giving up ties here.
Yep.
If you want to stay in that top 4 in the Hiawatha Valley, you're going to have to win games like this. And I'm sure Coach Soderberg was not too pleased that they only had the 1, on the scoreboard even heading into intermission. Now the far side.
So he's been keeping the starters out there quite a bit, trying to add a couple more. They are much more aggressive on their shot, so you can see they are trying to get one more and just to have that feel of, yeah, we've got this in the bag.
Yeah, Gonzalez kicked it, fired. A little off. Good header. Played up. Oh, and back by Cannon Falls, but sneaking in. Woodrum.
Switch fields here the outside.
Flicking her, yep. Geary. Emma's had one heck of a first half of the season, too. She's really played well. I know Soderberg wanted to nominate her as her interview for that last week. I just want to dole just because I had the storyline in my head. Yeah. But I told him I definitely want to talk to Geary sometime this season because she has played well. Defensive spot, but as you said, and we've talked about a couple times, she does sneak in and help out that offense. That's really important.
She's one of those players that you can put her anywhere on the field and she's going to support everyone around her, and she's just a leader. And this is her senior year as well, correct? So she's really trying to move the chains here.
And Tim looking for a shot on goal for Cannon Falls. Deflected out. That was a smart play, though.
Slow it down.
Well, that was Geary, too, and she made sure it didn't go out on the end line, made sure it was a sideline, so it's only a throw-in instead of a corner. Evans placing it up ahead.
Good communication out there, though. You can hear them talking.
Yes, you can. The Detterman and Evans.
That's one thing you can't teach is communication on the field. You've got to hope that they have it.
Right, because Soderberg's all the way on the other side. I mean, he's never going to hear that. He probably has no idea what was said.
He's never been the big vocal coach on the sidelines. I think he leaves that to Coach Gierach and years ago, Coach Bill Coonrat. So he's over there, that silent presence. And
set up play
fancy hairdo.
Yeah, true that. I am a little jealous of his hair, I have to admit. Although I can't handle long hair, so.
Be a great fundraiser to cut that one day.
True.
Raise some money for the program, parents.
That's a good point.
He won't like that I said that.
Macklin Smith on the run over the far end for Kasson Mantorville. Now come right to the middle. A little too far, though, and Cannon Falls going to get a touch off of it. I'm going to pass to Mackey, but then they go backwards.
See, there's a little bit of sloppiness in the defense right now. They haven't had a lot of touches on the ball, so they've been more relaxed. And now the ball's in that end of the field. They've got to wake up a little bit.
Geary was coming up the play. Woodrum passing off to Flickinger. Flickinger back
Smart.
over to the middle. Detterman, and now I would push. Oh, Detterman did not get another
touch on it.
Foot on it. Now I think Soderberg might have messed with his lineup a little bit because you could see Evans is playing deeper and Geary's playing up. I don't know if they've swapped spots. And now
something different.
They do swap back as Casamarville's on the run again over that far end. Gonzalez over there, Narvison who had checked in.
And some of those lost touches in the middle of the field there, you can get away with that on a game like today, but you don't want to see that when you go play a Byron, you go play a Lure, because when that starts to happen, they're aggressive. They're going to take advantage of those turnovers. They're going to be in your end of the field really quickly.
Yeah, looking forward to finding out. I think, does Byron come here? I'd have to go back and look as we're 18 and a half minutes remaining in the second half. 1-0 then Casamarville leading. It's at Byron on October 1st. Stewartville, though, is here on September 26th, and it's a match we'll call here on KM Activities.
And I got a good free kick here from about the 25. You're about 35 yards away.
Evans to set it up. It was Geary, I think, that
made the great play, got taken down, set it up here.
She was the one that had that. 18-18 with the foot for Evans. It's still scrambling on the floor. No.
Nobody running in, though, on that play. Everybody's kind of watching. When you ball watch, it's hard to score.
No, they got to have something come off of that. Evans put a good ball up in the middle, too, yeah.
You get one person in front of the goalie, she misses that ball, and there could be a rebound or go right past her.
I'd give credit to Bazzaro, too, because she came out and played it well for as a backup goalie for Cannon Falls.
As a former goalie of not high school varsity soccer, but JV, I would say that when you come in cold like that, your hands aren't ready, you're not ready to make those saves. Kicking is a little more challenging because you're not ready to go, and she's done a nice job coming in today.
Were you a glove guy? Oh, and a perfect pass off to Evans, and Evans just could not get a left foot on it to slow it down.
They really needed a JV goalie that year, and it was a fun tryout. Next year I broke my hand my senior year, so I missed out playing varsity, but that was in the infancy of the program. I was only 2 or 3 years old, so a long time ago.
Well, I worked for a retail company last year, and I saw a lot of kids coming, a lot of young kids buying shin guards and goalie gloves, and man, you name it. The sport, you could tell, of soccer is growing, and you see programs like, as you have alluded to with Casamarville, where the numbers have gone up. Lake City's trying that now. Stewartville, Byron, you got Lured as a heck of a program going on over at Rochester. So I think it's so important that we're seeing a lot more young athletes going out for soccer. Now in Iowa, it's a spring sport. Here, it's a fall sport. So
when we first started the program in the late 90s, you had a varsity and a JV. You didn't have a C squad. You didn't have a junior high. So it's nice to see 4 teams in the program right now.
Gwendol with the pass up ahead, splitting the D. Can't quite get anything on goal, though. Now get that ball to the outside. Set something up, and they do. Geary's on the run, playing it right around the 15.
She's got space.
I was going to say, she could get a shot. No. Battling out. Evans going to sneak in, though, try to take possession. Geary still battling in the middle. And Geary somehow comes out of that into the corner.
A little scrum for the ball, and she kept fighting. Scrappy.
And that is out of bounds off of Mackey, too. So it's going to be a corner kick for Casamarville, all brought on by Evans. And then Geary did a lot of that. 15 and a half to play. Second half, corner kick coming for Evans.
You hope to see someone run in here.
And high. She got plenty of...
Good spot. There you go.
And a header.
There you go.
And it's in! And a goal for Kasson Mantorville off the header. Right at 15 and a half, in fact. What a play. And those corner kicks have helped out Casamarville with getting a second goal on.
You put that on the highlight reel. That's something you're going to look at later, and the coaches are going to look at and say, that was what we've been waiting for. That's what we're looking for. And show the players that when you're doing film, and you say, that's what we want to see, and then you want to replicate that over and over.
And that was Gwendol that got the goal. I did not want to call out a number because I honestly, when there is that many girls standing there, I have no idea who put the head on.
Wait to give credit till it's due.
Yep, exactly. I don't want to be wrong. So Gwendol with the goal. The senior puts one up. Now Casamarville fighting right back into this corner with Evans.
Keeping that ball to the outside's kind of really helped them out this half. You see that corner kick happened because we kept the ball to the outside, and Evans with a great corner. That was just a beautiful spot.
And Dole's fighting over here in the side now. She
Curves
comes
it
in.
Nice shot. There's
Another goal for Gwendol. What a curve on that. Freed herself up on that. Don't give an assist to anyone. Just put that one up for another goal. And that was a lot like Hager's earlier in the first half. There's really not much you're going to do on contention of that.
That's a shot inside the second and third six there, and she put some power on it. Put a little mustard on it, and your hand's going to come up. But that's a hard shot from Dole. That's a hard one to save. Nice goal.
Perfect placement. Hager, if you missed it earlier in the match too, she had a fantastic first goal, and now you can see the confidence brewing in the Komets with those back-to-back goals in not even 45 seconds.
And you're feeling bad for that varsity going over in Cannon Falls. She got hurt in the first half, 4 minutes in, and she's probably sitting there going, I wonder if I could have made that save and helped my team out, and she can't get back out there because of an injury, and you feel bad for her.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, as football says, it's the next person up, though. I mean, you got to say that too, but you're exactly right. Lehrman might have said, I knew where that angle might come from, or anything like that.
Might have helped her out.
Right. Yeah, the height is probably the biggest thing because she was probably a few inches taller than Bizarro.
And she was in the right location on that spot. That just ball was so hard shot that she could just not get the hands high enough up to punch the ball over.
That's a lot like how Park High got on the board. The very first week that I saw it, they got one right over Lizzie. I mean, it was almost the exact same thing where Lizzie just could not get her hands up. It was just too good a placement.
Yeah. And as a goalie, you're kind of anticipating players looking to the side there for corners. And when a ball comes that hard at you that fast, your hands are going to react, but just not fast enough sometimes.
Out of bounds in.
Now Kasson Mantorville has that comfortable lead they were looking for with about 13 minutes left, and you hope that they don't ease up, but they play smart soccer. They make good passes. They're looking for give and goes. This is that opportunity for them to really communicate and work on those 3 or 4 touches, keeping them control of the ball, and see if they can improve on what they've been talking about.
And some substitutions later on, too. You figure another 7-8 minutes of everybody playing at the moment, and then maybe a couple substitutions, get some girls out of there.
Yep. Make sure you don't have any late-game injuries, but you also want to make sure you don't have any late-game goals given up. So you're gonna see a good blend of players here in the next 10 minutes.
Dole giving off to Narveson, far side, still being played, now picked up.
Narveson's in a good spot there. If she takes one more step before that cross, she might be in front of the goalie, make a touch before the goalie touches it with her hands.
Dole's got the hot foot right now. 2 goals in about 45 seconds between them.
This might give her a little momentum as the next couple games go on as they get ready for Byron. Let's hope that these goals can really lead into something.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing because, I mean, they have a busy week coming up next week. You've got La Crescent on Monday the 16th. You're at St. Paul Academy on the 17th. Pine Island on the 19th. Winona on the road to the 21st. I mean, that's 3 out of the next 4 are all on the road. Get one more with La Crescent coming here, but then you're all on the road, and that's going to be tough to do.
And you're going to see short practice times, and you're going to see a lot of working on just those little details that Coach Lorberg talked about before the game. And hopefully in those 3 or 4 games, we know La Crescent's always played us pretty tough, and hopefully they can manage 2 or 3 wins at least on those couple road games, come out strong and above 500 record.
Those road and you're always on that bus, and we're going to hit the bus on Monday night. I'm going to follow up. We were originally going to do Byron versus Kasson Mantorville volleyball. Well, that got moved, so we will have a little bit of a scheduling change, kind of like we did last week where we added Rochester Leward for the girls' soccer when they had one of their teams come off the schedule. They said they overscheduled. Yeah. We have a run out here. This is Kasson Mantorville and Ludvigsen. A nice attack by Kasson Mantorville, but so things got moved around. They couldn't find officials for the Byron, so Kasson Mantorville originally had Byron on the schedule for Monday for volleyball instead, and they were going to play Bloomington Jefferson on Tuesday. Those have now been reversed, and so on Monday I'm going to head off with the volleyball team. We'll see how that bus ride goes with those girls.
It's not a coach bus.
Yeah, it is not. No, I'll be with the players. Header. Another goal in front for Kasson Mantorville.
We talked about the beginning of the game, those garbage goals. You have that great corner header, and then the goalie makes that first initial save, and then the ball's laying there. You've got to find that and put the biscuit in the basket.
I think that was Ludvigsen, though. We just called her name. I'm waiting, but I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
She's a multi-sport athlete, Taylor. She plays hockey for the Dodge County Wildcats here in town and playing soccer this year for varsity. It's nice to see her on the team this year. Last year she was JV, this year varsity, so it's nice to see that move up for her. She's worked real hard for it.
Okay, and that was well, I'm glad we talked about her. She was not the one that had the goal, though.
Oh.
It was Narvison.
Oh, there we go.
I thought it was Ludvigsen. She's been on this side. That's why I thought it was Ludvigsen, since the goal came on this side, but instead, flipping, well, you never know where anybody ends up in that big old scrum. But Narvison gets another goal. That's her 4th now this season.
And it's nice to just see that aggressiveness in the box. That first 6 there, the ball's there. Somebody finds it. There's another ball through.
So 4-0 now. I got to fix the score bug. So, yeah, I'll be with the volleyball team up to Bloomington on Monday. And then we'll be right back here at KM Telecom Stadium for high school soccer on Tuesday night. That's when the boys play, and they play Pine Island. So we're going to have that matchup for you here on KM Activities.
Keep you busy.
Yeah, you want to join me again on Tuesday?
Well, I don't know the programs as well as I know this one, so I could try.
All right, sounds good. The last time I did the boys matchup, I had nobody with me, so I did camera work and everything else. You're more than welcome to tag along. I'd like to have you back.
It has been an enjoyable experience. I talked to Coach Soderberg at the end of the season after resigning last year. I said I wouldn't mind coming up to the booth, watching some games, helping announce, because knowing most of the players, coaching most of them, it's kind of fun to watch them play their senior and junior years and have that varsity experience.
Well, and you provide some nice color of talking a little bit more about strategy, which is something that I don't have any idea on. I pretty much just direct the broadcast and tell you what's going on the field, and that's it. So, yeah, this has been great, and we'd love to have you back.
Definitely. It's a good experience. And after 10 years of coaching, it finally felt like I knew what I was doing, too. So it was bittersweet to step away.
Oh, Ludvigsen
Beautiful.
Stay, and it's out. Wow, what movement for Taylor Ludvigsen, the junior. That was excellent ball movement by her. Basically one-on-one play, but she got through 3 bombers to get that shot on goal.
They weren't giving her the left there, so she made a nice little touch with her right foot across her body to the right foot, and great shot, great movement.
Not in the net, but you give her credit for the shot itself, though. Put it on the...
Those are the plays you build on for the next game, because now your Coach Kohlerberg sees that. He's going, all right, I have an opportunity to put Taylor in a little more and get those opportunities for her.
Right, for sure. And she plays quite a bit of varsity anyway. I've seen her out there. And you're right. I mean, if you could do something like that and impress the coaching staff, it's like, well, maybe we give her a little bit more opportunities. In the corner, Evans, floating shot, still alive, and grabbed.
In the end, it doesn't matter who scores the goal as long as you've got more on your scoreboard than they do.
Nice. Yep, exactly. I've heard that so many times when I ask coaches keys. Can we just scoreboard the other team? And that's true. I mean, I hate that they tell me that because I already know that's one of their keys, but you're exactly right. I mean, these girls don't care who's putting up the numbers, and that I think that's kind of your point. And it's the perfect point because they don't.
And the team mentality's been really there this year. Talking to Coach Collins, that was a good head.
Offside.
She almost had a little offsides, and she had mentioned that the chemistry's been really good. It's been a positive attitude. It's been a great start to the season when it comes to teammanship, working together and building as a team. So it's nice to see that she was saying that.
Well, that's the perfect thing too. Is that whether it's Dole, it's Narvison, it's Evans, it doesn't matter who's putting the ball. I mean, at the end of the day, these girls just want to get back on the bus or go home and with a win, and that's it. That's all they're caring about. And that's the whole team mentality. That's what's fun about most team sports is that's all you really do care about. You shouldn't care about so much your own numbers. The main number is just getting dubs.
And you've got some great seniors on this program that last year played in that playoff game against Lures and had the lead 1-0, and they remember what that feels like. And they're not going to let it go, and they're going to let the players around them know, hey, we were right there with them. Good shot opportunity there.
And Evans was almost there on the cleanup, too, as that one diagonaled the cross.
They're looking for that outside there. They haven't really let up. They're still trying to push the ball forward.
Falk going to come in now. We haven't seen Maria for since the first half. 6:24 is remaining here in the second half. 4-0 is the score.
This is that time where, as a head coach, you're giving some of your starters that maybe have some just lingering injuries, little knee pain, back pain. You're saying, all right, we've got the lead. We're going to take you out. We're going to rest you and make sure the practice is light tomorrow since we got a big schedule the next couple days.
Yeah, that's for sure, too. And that's the other question I was going to have for you is that when you do have so much We did not have any sound for quite a while. So, yeah, we apologize for that. I'm just checking to see who all had comments that was going on. That's my fault. But when you do have a schedule like this and you're going to be hitting the road and everything else, what are the things that you're doing in practice besides? I mean, you don't want to push the girls too much. You don't want to push anybody too much if you have that kind of schedule.
You're not pushing the conditioning. You're pushing just some of those fundamentals that Coach Littleberg talked about before the game, and probably playing some fun games, keeping everybody active, keeping everything light, but still focused on the strategy ahead. Probably talking more than you are playing, and I know he loves to be out there on the field practicing with them, so I'm sure that he's gotten some workouts in with them. So, but he's probably keeping it pretty light.
Yeah, especially when you know you're going on the bus and then, got the long drives home, and all these kids do have to go to school. That is the other thing. They do have some homework and whatnot going on too. So
And that's one of the challenges as a varsity coach. You're not just juggling your program in all those games. You've got JV you're trying to communicate with, and he's got 2 other programs underneath even that. So communicating with all 4 coaches can be a challenge at this point in the season because you're not always going the same place. Your junior high is going to Stewartville, and you're going to Pine Island, or you're going somewhere different. So that can be tough.
yeah, that's true. And communication's got to be key, not only on the field, but then off the field when you're talking to coaches and everything else. And as you said, and you want to know what the results are too. Like tonight, I want to know what's going on with the volleyball team.
Yep.
I want to know if they're winning, and same thing if they were, if anybody was, if the boys were playing, or as you said, if a JV team went off and played somewhere else.
And there's a good through ball there to Ava.
Just and
kind of tipping over before she take that shot there. She wanted to.
Yeah,
Pass though through the middle.
Yes, I agree. The passing tonight has probably been the most impressive that I have seen.
And that comes from really spreading the field out. And we talked about getting that ball to the outside. And the more you spread white out on the field, the more opportunities you're going to see for Kasson Mantorville in those black jerseys.
Out of bounds. Throw in for Cannon Falls.
This is one of those games where Lizzie's going to celebrate a shutout, but touching the ball didn't happen too often today for her. So she's going to celebrate it, but she's going to move past it and probably have a couple shots in practice, get that goalie working, hopefully.
Yeah, that's true, too. I was going to say, Lizzie's haven't had too much action for her tonight.
Makes her stat line look good at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's true. Because she really only had about 2 saves the entire night, I think. As Falk, Maria, trying to play it off.
There's Goddard. Nice pass through.
Played off on this near side and out of bounds, though.
And you can see Goddard makes that pass, and you can tell she's thinking ahead, that one step ahead. Make that pass the outside right to Ava. So that's a great play there.
Battling it out. Oh, ball went up and over the head of Cannon Falls. Is that going to go out of bounds before anybody can get to it? Yes. And it will be Cannon Falls. They will say it's a Bombers throw-in with just 2.5 minutes remaining here in the second half.
Well, it's nice they got to avoid the rain. There's a little bit of sprinkles going on, but during warm-ups, and that stopped right before the game started, so that was nice to see no one had to get rained on for the game today.
Yeah, I was going to say, it basically turned out to be a pretty nice night, which you wouldn't have thought that was going to be the case when we first started. And, heck, I had even emailed Mr. Langamo at about, might have been about 1 o'clock when another storm system was about to come through. And I had asked, is this thing going to happen or not? And then they really just told me, if there is no lightning, we're going to play. So I think if it would have rained, we still would have been here tonight for girls soccer.
Oh, yeah, rain or shine. You could have had lightning. I don't think Coach Silberg would have wanted to end the game there. He loves to play no matter what. It could be snowing right now, and he'd want soccer to be happening. So.
Yeah, the lightning is the only thing that I think pulls everybody away. And it's the same way with baseball and football and everything else. Once you have a storm, you kind of have to take those breaks. No, not to say if they were.
Inside joke between coaches back in the day.
Oh, I believe I've been to games where it's like, oh, come on now, we haven't seen any lightning and that's so far off in the distance, and yet they reset the clock, and you get everybody upset. And
better safe than sorry, though.
That's exactly right. And we do have football Friday night coming up. We'll be right back here at KM Telecom Stadium for high school football. It's Kasson Mantorville taking on Austin as the Packers come to town. It's Military Appreciation Night.
Nice.
I know they had a veteran come in and talk to the boys today, too, as a kind of a special guest speaker, so that's pretty cool.
It's nice to do right around Patriots Day.
Yeah, that is for sure. And I always say this, whether it be Veterans Day, Patriots Day, whatever it is, you should always thank a veteran for their service. No matter when you see them, do it.
And I know all three buildings, elementary, middle school, and high school, usually do a Veterans Day program where they bring veterans in, allow them to come in, have cookies, punch, and they usually have a speaker. And it's a great event to show the community, hey, we really care about your service, and we thank you for what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Done.
I hear the VFW here is very active, too.
Oh, yeah.
Around the community. They like to do things, so whether it be like I think they do a lot of grill outs. I thought that's what I had heard earlier. I think Ben was the one that told me that. We only have 20 seconds left. That's why we're just sitting here riffing, I guess. Live microphone. 4-0, though. Kasson Mantorville is going to get. This is just a good quality win, though. You go overall, you look at it, Dole with the 2 goals, Narveson with 1, and Hager got it off on the right foot for Kasson Mantorville. They might get one more. Oh, I thought they might get one more right before. Yes, it was. 4-0 then is how the thing's going to end here at KM Telecom Stadium, though. Let's take a 2-minute break. We'll come back and we'll wrap things up as we'll get the final thoughts from Ryan, and I'll bring you, well, I pretty much told you all the stats I have anyway, but we'll come right back here on KM Activities, your home for the Komets.
If you're a parent, you get it. The whole family stays in high gear during the school year. From sports to concerts to grades. High school demands high speed. At home, your internet also needs to meet the high demands of your family. Smart TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Sometimes all running at once. Maybe it's time to upgrade to a faster internet plan. Upgrade your high-speed internet with KM Telecom. Give us a call today and find out more. 634-2511. 634-2511.
This Kasson Mantorville sports broadcast is brought to you in part by McKern Financial in Kasson and the Kasson Mantorville School District. We thank these proud sponsors for bringing you all the fall sports action right here on KM Activities YouTube channel. McKern Financial and the KM schools cheer on the Komets and wish them a successful fall season.
Is your internet speed meeting your family needs? Times have really changed. Most families are running smart TVs, laptops, tablets, smartphones, often all at one time. With so many devices in constant use at home, maybe it's time to switch to high-speed internet from KM Telecom. Right now, you can sign up by September 30th and get your installation and first month absolutely free. Free installation and first month free. Call KM Telecom today for more information. 634-2511. 634-2511.
Well, Kasson Mantorville gets the W tonight, then 4-0 over Cannon Falls, and it started off a little slow for both teams, honestly. Offensively, it was Kasson Mantorville that got on the board first, though, with Hager. That was with about 15-20 minutes right in between there in that first half. It was a 1-0 game, actually, at first half. But then the Komets really started to gel, found their offensive groove, and Gwen Dole put in back-to-back goals between 45 seconds, too. They happened bang, bang, and then that late goal happened with Narveson. That was on a corner kick. And I want to go back to that play in particular, Ryan, because really Kasson Mantorville had been working on those corner kicks. They finally got a little success off of that, and as I think you even pinpointed it, go back and look at that and go, this is what we need to duplicate every time.
Yeah, that was a beautiful cross right in from that corner kick from Evans, and that header right away. Header puts the ball in net. Goalie's quick reaction makes a clean save, but again, that ball, when it's in the ground, you want somebody that's driving through, and Narveson's there to bury that, and that's going to feel good. That's going to build momentum for practice tomorrow. That's going to build momentum for your next game, because now you feel confidence in those corners, and you end up wanting to expect that because you've seen it now.
Yeah, I agree. And then you get a senior like Gwen Dole just wanting to feel good and then puts 2 in. So that it was, for her, that's got to be a big confidence boost as well.
Yeah, and you looked at that first half, and you saw. I'm guessing Coach Oberg talked quite a bit about getting the ball to the outside, moving the ball, making clean touches, and some of the crosses weren't as successful that first half. And once they got the ball to the outside, they weren't always crossing the ball. They were looking back into that third, sixth, even outside the box. They did that once, and that's when Gwen got that one pass, and she came in and buried it. And she had a couple opportunities because we weren't just trying to cross the ball through people, or we weren't trying to run through 4 white jerseys. We were going left to right and making passes, and that's how she kind of built that first one for herself. And the second one was just amazing. She did all the work herself, and hard shot right over the goalie's hands.
Yeah, her second goal was really impressive. Hager's goal was very impressive. And he talked defensive real quickly. Then for Kasson Mantorville, they didn't get a lot of work in, but at the same time, communication was key. They talked a lot, and Lizzie can go back and say, hey, I can rely on you guys a little bit more.
Yep. And that's something they can always work on. They a couple times in that first half there, they kind of got relaxed, got a little flat around the 40 and 30 there, and one ball came through. Lizzie made a clean little touch, and then one time went right under her foot for a corner, but that's that. You haven't seen a lot of plays in your end, so you're just not ready for it because you're kind of relaxed. You sit there as a goalie, and there's not a lot to do when everyone's on the other end of the field. So it was nice to see the defense in that second half. They weren't as flat, but more of a zigzag pattern. Maybe Coach Soderberg talked about that at halftime, and they kind of slowed them down. They really didn't see any opportunities in that second half for Cannon Falls, which was disappointing because they worked so hard. Defensively, they just couldn't get that ball past the 50 for a long stretch of time.
At least they were able to move their defender up a little bit more. They weren't sitting back as much. I thought at least Cannon Falls was being more aggressive. Yeah. Maybe they can work on that coming up. But yeah, Kasson Mantorville then 3-3-1 is their overall record. They go 2-0 in the conference. Cannon Fall Bombers. They are 2-5, pardon me, and then 0-2 in the conference. And then, as I mentioned, Kasson Mantorville has a very busy schedule coming up. Cannon Falls, if you're wondering, they host Leward coming up. But they'll have a week for that. Maybe they'll get healthy, too. They had several girls out tonight. Maybe they'll get one of those back. And then for Kasson Mantorville, they can enjoy the weekend after a win, and they can host La Crescent coming up on Monday, which we know is going to be a good matchup, too. Unfortunately, I'll be off elsewhere, but I'll be keeping an eye on Twitter. And maybe if you're coming to the ball game, you could text me and let me know how things are going. We could tweet it out and let everybody know what's going on for the Kasson Mantorville Komets. They win tonight 4-0. Ryan, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Joel. It was fun. It was a really enjoyable time. I liked watching the game. It's been a while, and great game for the girls.
Well, I hope you can come back with us, too, and hop along on the broadcast anytime we're calling some soccer. Love to have you back on. Ryan Christensen, I'm Joel McCall, bidding you farewell from KM Telecom Stadium. Kasson Mantorville, the Komets win 4-0 against Cannon Falls here on KM Activities. Your home for the Komets. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.